careful. Let's all make it home tonight.
So what's your name? Yullbrenna.
Ah, fresh meat!
Alright, hey everybody, Yullbrenna here. Welcome back to another Ability Arena gameplay video. This time we're going to be playing Counter Terrorist. So you've seen a video where I did a replay review with Tango Mango Pingo in the past, reviewing Counter Terrorist, and now I'm going to do it myself. So let's talk about what Counter Terrorist does. So over the course of the game, you're going to be getting 4 pieces of equipment if you level up to max shop, and here's the piece of equipment. And really all of them have their own viability, and you'll see the ones I use today and why I pick them. One of the main ones that I think you should be picking every single time is, of course, Right Shield, applying that damage reduction to your team to start. In this video I'll also be explaining when a good time to pick Counter Terrorist is and when a bad time to pick it is. So to start, kind of just picked up some early spells that are usually winners in the early game, and that would be Fury Swipes, Wild Axes, and of course I see Static Link as well. I'm going to be going for a couple things here, and one of them is getting Trample. So Trample is normally a spell I don't go for, and a lot of people don't go for, so I'm going to try it out, see how it works. Also pick up Static Link here. Static Link, great early game spell for damage, especially in the early game when a lot of it is just attack damage, so you're still net attack damage and turning the tide in your favor. So I had mentioned when is Counter Terrorist a good time to pick. That of course is Right Shield that I was talking about. So make sure as many units, you can see the circle there, applying the damage reduction right there. So making sure it captures as many units as possible. I see a lot of good spells in the shop, so I'm going to go ahead and lock that. But like I said, Counter Terrorist, when is a good time to pick Counter Terrorist? And I'm going to say every single time. This is actually one of the top gods in the game. You'll see one of my recent reviews on this video right here, where I say that Counter Terrorist has one of the top win rates in this game, according to the top players. And that's really, you can pick him anytime, and the equipment that you get from it is just so beneficial. So I don't see a bad game. There's obviously games where it's better than others, but I think depending on what your strategy is, you're going to have a good time playing Counter Terrorist. So I think it's maybe a little bit of an intimidating god, because the equipment, how does it interact, what do you want to do, should I level up quickly, should I not, and we'll kind of dive into that. So I've got my front line, I've got TA for some backline physical damage, and then I'm going to add in Jakiro, and he's just going to be some support. He's going to add Bloodlust, he's going to add Heavenly Grace, and of course Cold Embrace, top spell. You want to pick that up. Most spells it's really only countered by magic damage and Ice Blast, but not everybody has that, and I'd recommend to pick up Cold Embrace almost every time it's in play. Trample doing a lot of work right here in the beginning, but once it's done I kind of run out of steam, and this is where Templar is going to need to hopefully clean up. And I'm leveling up shop again. With Counter Terrorist, you are going to be leveling up back shop, and I grabbed Smoke Grenade, so that's going to silence enemies. You see there's a couple ogres in play that are definitely going to be reliant on casting, so I of course want to get that Smoke Grenade and silence those Ogre Magi and double casting builds, because those are going to hurt pretty hard. The only invulnerability to magic damage I have is Blade Fury right now, so definitely want to pick that up. So I had the False Promise, had Cold Embrace, stopped a lot of the incoming damage that was hitting me. Trample did a lot, and TA cleaned it up. So comboing Trample, Blade Fury, and Chronosphere is something I really like to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. I think that's a good combo right here. And then I also picked up Chain Frost, so throwing Chain Frost into that. So here you can see there's a lot of good spells to pick up. I think you could have picked up really any of them. I'm going to pick up the Flashbang, and what that's going to do is cause misses on attack, and then damage over time spells are going to have increased damage. So I do have the Quill Sprays, I have Trample, kind of damage over time spells, but it should combo with a lot, and you can see right there where, get those opponents in the Chrono and just immediately delete them. I don't like Meteor Hammer. I don't really have value for the harpoon, so I'm going to pick up Aether Lens, give it to Jakiro. That should be pretty beneficial. Best of the bunch, really, that I could grab. And comboing with the Chrono, like I said, I've got the Chain Frost, and then I'm going to grab the Mortimer's Kisses too. So I'm going to get a lot of magical damage, a lot of backline damage in there. And yeah, those spells are pretty crucial, so pick that up. Again, this guy's really grouped up. The Trample is going to do a lot of work, same with the Chain Frost. It's just about the sustained damage here. TA doesn't have much lifesteal or attack damage. And I unfortunately lose that round just barely, but that's okay. It's still early game, still top of the charts. So here I am obviously lacking some frontline. TA and Jakiro kind of got exposed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up Dragonite. I'll give him the Mortimer's Kisses, and then once he's done, he can get in there with Waveform and protect my frontline after the Trample unit, after Chronosphere is over. So caught most of the people in the Chrono, and really working out with Chain Frost, Trample, and Mortimer's Kisses. A lot of magic damage, and it's working out real well for me. So how to, let's talk. So here's the last piece of equipment I'm going to get is the Incendiary Grenade. So the Incendiary Grenade I think combos really well with both of the items that I have in the back. So you have the smoke that's going to silence enemies. You've got the flashbang that is going to increase damage over time and cause missing attacks. You can see all of the items working out really well right there. And then the Incendiary Grenade. So the Incendiary Grenade, it's going to slow and it's going to do damage over time. So the damage over time combos really well with the flashbang. And then the slow is going to work really well with the smoke, because now the opponents are going to be stuck into the silence more often, and then so they're just going to be taking more damage in there, and they're going to be stuck and they can't cast any spells. The flashbang means they can't attack. So it's just a really good combo of all three of these. I kind of just put them right in the center to start. You know, you can pick left side, right side as you get closer to the end, but I think putting them right in the middle, so far a lot of people not really adjusting to it. And then of course you can see with the riot shield, I'm putting as many units as I can to get covered by the riot shield. So a big counter to this would be if someone had pulverize, if someone had black hole, if someone had vacuum, I could take care of that to my opponents. So that's why I have my frontline Chrono, so someone can't immediately get in and group up my opponents and take them out. So they'll need to jump to the back line with Blink, Phantom Strike, and try to attack my opponents. So I see Rumble Beast, he's a much better frontline, much better stat gain. And with TA, it's going to take TA about 23 rounds to get up to the same attack range as something like Alina. And with no additional take aim, I'm just going to switch it up and put Sniper on there for my backline physical carry. So that leaves Necrophos is going to be my caster. And I'll pick up Press the Attack. Solid spell that I always value. So I get a good Chrono off. This guy did get to my backline. Stopped a lot of my Mortimer's Kisses. So let's see if I have the damage to finish this off. Dragonite does get in front, but I'm having a tough time killing off this Arc Warden. And, just my Sniper isn't there yet. I did max out my shop, so I am a little bit behind on spells. Picking up Grow, maybe I'll throw that on my Sniper. And then of course you can see on my bench I have Burning Spears as well. Burning Spears is going to combo with Trample. When you get Trample to Gaben, it'll proc attack modifiers, and so the attack modifier that I chose is Burning Spears. So a bit of a drawn out fight, and a lot of my damage is burst magical damage, but I managed to pull that off. So still in the top two, and now I'm looking at, okay, what do I want to do to finish out the rest of the game, and what do I need to target for the rest of the game? So clearly my spell damage with Necrophos is there. So I pick up Chakra Magic. I'm 1 at the mana to keep spamming Fortune's End to keep channeling Lightning Bolt. You know, it pops up 3 Warcries in a row. I might as well pick those up. That's a solid spell. So I'll just throw that on the Dragonite for the time being. That's for some additional armor, and that combos pretty well with the Riot Shield. So I'll put him right in the middle so he can get everybody hit by that Warcry. And really, the Necrophos is the only one that is not in my Riot Shield. So knocked out first place, and now I'm in first place. So still going strong here. Mortimer's Kisses and the Chain Frost really dealing the most damage right now, and you can see Chrono is just, if people don't have that backline damage, then they're really struggling here. So I do want as many people in that Riot Shield. I'm going to go for it and go all 5 of my units. See if I can get them all in there for max reduced damage. This guy was offset, but my Chrono manages to still hit them with a lot of my equipment as well. And I managed to take him down. So 2 good items from my sniper. And I'll go ahead and pick up the one that provided the nullifier, and that's going to have that constant dispel. So just in case anybody has overcharge on them, it'll take that off. I think a really undervalued spell when the attack modifiers aren't fervor and things like that. It's a buff like Bloodlust. It's going to take that off. It's going to take a lot of those buffs onto the opponent off. Press the attack when it's on my carry. Sometimes I like to go past level 3 and get level 6 and level 9, but it's not one of my game winners at the moment. So I'm going to hold off and see if I can find something else. I do want Trample to get up there, and my Necrophos is doing a lot as well, so I want to get that spell up. Let's talk a little bit about the other pieces of equipment. So there's 2 pieces of equipment that I didn't get. One is that HE grenade, and that displaces units, and that's if you have a unit that's sitting on the back line that you want to push to the front, you can definitely use that, misplacing your opponents. You can see I moved the smoke grenade to target the other person that was doing well, so it silenced his ogre for the time being. I get off my Chrono just after, so I managed to completely disable his Rubik, and you can see I won the fight just because of that play. So when you're taking a look at your pieces of equipment, go ahead and target those top opponents. Those are going to be the other strong builds, and see who is going to be the most trouble for you, and move your equipment accordingly. So I saw that I hadn't played him in a while. I definitely want to target him with the smoke, so ended up doing it, and it worked out. I faced him right away. So yeah, I mentioned the displacement one, and the other one is a decoy grenade. So the decoy grenade is really it can also be useful when you're facing ogre builds, because they're not going to be attacking that fast, so it'll taunt one of the units and it'll make them attack that decoy, and they'll have to kill that before they can start attacking again. So with an ogre build that doesn't have a lot of attack speed, it wants to cast its spells. It's similar to a silence, where it's going to be busy fighting that illusion and that decoy. So very valuable as well, and I think all of these pieces of equipment can work in their own way. So I finally get Trample to Gaben, so now it's going to be proccing those attack modifiers. I also see I'm going to get Chain Frost to Gaben, so things are going really well for me on a winning streak. Let's see if I can continue this. Really, I just need to get my sniper up. Overcharge is pretty low level. Here's the ogre build again, but I wasn't looking, and he did switch up. So his multicaster is on the other side. I get my Chrono off second again. He seems to consistently get his Chrono off first. And he has a lot more magic damage than me, and that backline really hurt right there. So again, this is what I talk about. Now that I've gotten Trample to Gaben, I can target my other spells. And I'm going to go for it on press the attack, get that up a little bit higher. The backline really got crushed there. Looking at my opponents, making sure now that it's going down to the final 4, the positioning of my equipment matters a little bit more. So I'll switch sides on that. Here's second place. I get a lot. Good silence off. And the bounces did really well. Necro, top on the charts, no problem. Chain Frost is really one of those spells that, especially if you can cast it in the center of the map, it's going to hit all the units, it's going to continuously hit. It can be a game winner for sure. One of those spells that I highly value, and I think others should highly value and go for it all the way to Gaben every single time. Sniper, kind of the weak link in mine. Obviously Jakiro's not doing much damage because Jakiro's a support, but Sniper with overcharge a little bit lower, Fierce Wipes is going to help a little bit with the damage, but I've got a lot of magical burst damage, and that's what's doing well so far. So here I've got the smoke onto his unit. My Chain Frost casts completely to the side, so it's not hitting all of their units. I get my Chrono off, but he gets a little bit stuck in the Cold Embrace, kind of two spells that didn't interact quite well, and it's probably going to punish me. My Sniper's not going to be able to beat his multicast unit. Of course, I'm going to go for Gaben on press the attack. There's 2 Ogre units left. I'm going to use all of the spell immunity that I need. Seeing where my opponent's stacked up, switch accordingly, lean it a little bit more to that side where the real pressure is, and get my Chrono over there as well. My Chain Frost casts right in the center, so it combos really well with the Chrono. I still got a lot of damage here. Should be able to close this one out, but oh man, all the illusions, all the summons, and I get taken out there. Okay. So still got a lot of life left. You can see the other Ogre is streaking here. I definitely am running out of steam after the initial 5 to 6 seconds of the fight here. The Ogre gets a few Gabens there as well. Really difficult to deal with, but should be okay. I get my own Gaben with press the attack, so that really should help with the Ogre builds that and that spell immunity. So hopefully this can turn it around just a little bit here. Otherwise, I'm going to need to fix some things. Switch my bombs accordingly, throw them all to that side, since I know who I'm playing. And looks like I managed to finish it off, so that one went a lot better here. And I could get Giant's Ring, throw it on Primal. He's not doing too much. My Necrophos is clearly doing a lot of the damage here, so I might as well get a Refresher Orb and turn myself into an Ogre as well. And yeah, here's where he's going to try to avoid the equipment as much as possible. Looks like I've still got my equipment on the right side, but he did a last minute switch. Little unfortunate here. My Necro gets taken out and his backline is causing some issues here. I keep getting my Chrono off second, so that's also hurting me a little bit. And yeah, my main focus here is really going to be taking out that Rubik. He gets epicenter to Gaben. That's been causing a lot of problems too. That's his second damage dealer, is that Primal Beast with the epicenter. Move my bombs again. Let's see what happens. Take out the Primal, almost kill the Rubik here, but the Brain Sap Gaben and the double Dagon. Let's see if I can finish Fop. Nope, it's just too much. So I may need to make some adjustments here. So I sold Grow, don't need that anymore. Looking at how I need to adjust this again. Put Necro right in the middle, make sure Necro gets the cast. And spread out a little bit, let his epicenter hit my backline. And just can't take down this Rubik. Really close there. Sniper did a little bit more damage. Primal even stepped up. He's getting a good amount of Gabens too. There's Mortimer's Kisses Gaben selling Warcry. He's doing all magic damage, so Warcry really isn't that valuable. And at this point, I really need to avoid the backline. And I'm going to spread out here a little bit more. See if that helps. So Necros kind of gets stuck there, so I don't get all my casts off. That was really unfortunate. Probably... And I just killed one additional unit, so it was just the Rubik, and so I survived. So that was a huge win right there. It gives me another round. So I need to adjust it. The Necrophos is just not doing that well, and I find Lion gets that spell amp. Hopefully a little bit better of a caster here. You can see I moved Chronosphere to first because I wasn't getting off my Chronosphere first, maybe because I was casting Blade Fury. And I'm going to switch here at the last second. So Dragon Knight's going to be on the other side. My support unit will be right there. I'll press the attack next to him so he can get off his spells, which he does. And he's distracting the Primal, and I get the kills onto the Rubik. So huge positional switch there. I get the win. And yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this counter-terrorist game. Shows the real power of this top god. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy.